everybody. So I've had this idea for a video planned out for the last 2 months, and I watched about 5 or 6 movies of the 15. But then I went to Texas for Nightmare Weekend, and I had a conversation with some people online, and some conversations we talked about really what got us into horror, early horror movies we liked and stuff. And I realized how different my experience was with watching horror movies in the beginning than everyone else's, because everyone either really got into it when they were young, or their parents showed them stuff, or they grew up with it. And I never grew up with horror. I was scared as a little kid. I was scared of Slender Man when I was little. And I started watching horror movies when I was 12, but never really got into horror until I was around 13. So I made a list of 15 movies that I could remember that I watched getting into the genre, and movies that really just pushed me into becoming the fan I am today. So all of these movies I watched for the first time either in 2017 or 2018, and I recently rewatched for the first time in 2025. And my views on these movies have either changed drastically, few remain the same, or just completely just shifted to bad or good. So with that being said, this video, I completed 8 of the 15, so this video will include part 1, 8 of the 15 movies. And first but foremost, I have Annabelle Creation. Now, I watched this when I was 12, and this was the first really true horror movie that I watched. And this scared me when I was little, and I absolutely loved this movie when I was little, and some of my opinions still hold up on it. Now, Annabelle Creation tells a story of an orphanage who goes to a home with a haunted being in it. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a big fan of the original Annabelle. So going to Annabelle Creation, I was like, it's probably like the first Annabelle. But oh my god, I recently rewatched this, and I still think it's a good movie. Now, I'm not in love with it like I was when I first watched it when I was 12. But I still think it holds up. I still think it's better than the original Annabelle. I still think it is one of the best in the Conjuring movie films. Now, it's been a minute since I've seen them, but I still think it's one of the best ones, and I still really like it. I think the characters are really effective. I like our main character. I like that they give her a little bit of an edge of why she can't run to escape, and gives her a little bit of a haunting voluntarily, and I enjoy that aspect of the movie. And I still think, like I did years ago, this movie is what Annabelle should have been. So that being said, I still thoroughly enjoy this movie. I'm not in love with it like I was when I was little, but you know what? I still like it, and would I recommend this to people who like the Conjuring movies? Yes, because it still is probably the best Annabelle movie of the three. Next, I have The Babysitter. The Babysitter tells the story of a babysitter who babysits a kid, and things turn crazy. Now, I watched this year it came out, so 2017, 12 years old, and I liked it. I was not in love with it, but I liked it. I liked the characters, I liked the story. I liked it. That also had to do with my first ever horror movie, which we will get to at the bottom of this list, but I enjoyed it, I liked it. Now, on rewatch, I still like it. It still holds up for me. I actually rewatched the sequel right after it. I still like it. I still think it's a solid movie, and would I recommend it? Depends on what you like in the person, but I still like it. It still holds up for me. Now, Hush. Hush tells the story of a deaf girl dealing with a home invasion. Now, when I first watched this, I think 2018, I did not like it. For some whatever reason, I'm like, oh, this is boring. I don't like it. On rewatch, my mind is totally changed. I like this movie a lot. Now, I'm not a big fan of home invasion movies, but I like the spin this one does. I like that our character is deaf, so it gives her a bit of a challenge of why she can't escape the situation. I also like her character, and I do think some of her choices are really smart in this movie, and I do think it's a good length. Overall, I would say I like this one. I think it's good. If I had to watch a home invasion movie, this definitely would be one of my considerations. I'm not a big fan of those types of movies in general. Next is Oculus. Oculus tells the story of 2 kids who return home to face what happened to their parents when they were younger. Now, I watched this movie in 2018 and I absolutely loved it when I first saw it. I thought, oh my god, this movie is the best, and it was my favorite for about 2 or 3 years. Now, on a rewatch, this movie has gone down for me. I still like it. I still think it's a solid movie. I still enjoy it. I like the siblings relationship. I like the movie length. I like the mirror and just the adventure it takes you down on. I like the ending, especially because I think the ending ties everything just all together. So I still like this movie a lot, but I don't love it like I used to. I want to recommend this to somebody. Honestly, like if you're in for a good movie that's pretty solid, it's not gonna be for everyone. Not everybody likes this. I would recommend it because I do like this, especially the sibling relationship in this one. I like this one so much. Still. Next is The Autopsy of Jane Doe. This tells a story of a father and son who are in a morgue who get a Jane Doe and they have to do an autopsy. Now, when I first watched this in, I think 2017, I didn't like this one. I'm like, this is boring. I don't like it. Keep in mind, I loved Annabelle Creation and movies like that, and jumpy movies. My opinion has definitely changed on that now. So I didn't like this one, but I got through it. On rewatch, my mind, I really like this one. I don't love it, but I like the story it tells you on. I like that it's just a straight movie. I like what you find out about what happened to Jane Doe. I just wholeheartedly, I like this one a lot. I think the body horror is good. I do think just the way it twists with you, I do like. So I do think this is a good movie. Would I recommend it to somebody? I would recommend it. I think it's a solid movie. Next is The Ring. The Ring tells the story of a cursed tape. And I liked this when I first watched it. This was 2018. And you know what? I recently rewatched it and my opinion still stays the same on it. I like it. I like the story of the girl that you follow, and I still think the image of her crawling on the TV is still very creepy. Now, where this little bit loses me is why this has gone down a little bit for me now. It has, is mainly because of where I saw things as sequels go. And much as I don't like to talk about the sequels and where things go can affect movies for me, it definitely does for this one. I think if this movie was standalone, I think would think of it higher. Just where the sequels go, I'm not a big fan of. Even though it's been a minute since I watched those, I still like this one. I still think it's solid. I do think the acting can be a little off at times, but I still think it's solid. I still like it, and this is a cult classic to a lot of people, but it's still good. Next, I have the first horror movie I ever watched. It's My Babysitter's a Vampire. This is a PG movie from 2010. I watched this movie religiously when I was 10 or 11 years old, multiple times. I absolutely loved it. I have memories of me sitting at my desk at 2 a.m. just watching it multiple times. And upon rewatch, I forgot a lot about this movie because it's been years. And you know what? I still had fun with it. It was mostly nostalgia, I'm not gonna lie. But I kind of found it funny how much they made fun of Twilight in this one, which I completely forgot they did, but it was hilarious. I think the acting's a little rough, but you know what? It's not terrible. I like the way things kind of go, and I like and this is the movie, there's a TV series. I've not seen TV series. It's about the movie particularly. I still think it's solid for me, but that's mainly nostalgia holding it over. And the plot's basically in the title. It's nostalgia, but you know what? I still have fun with this one. Last but not least is The Boy. The Boy tells the story of a sitter who is asked to watch a doll when things turn strange. Now, I watched this the same night I watched Annabelle Creation. And this was after I watched Annabelle Creation, remember this. I liked it when I first watched it. I thought it was a little boring. But on rewatch, I like this one. I still think it is a pretty solid movie, and my mind somewhat remembered the twist of this, but I kind of forgot part of it, but you know what? I like this one. The twist works for me. The characters, you know what? They're fine. I think the acting's fine in this one as well. The atmosphere and the way they built up is pretty solid. I think this is still a pretty solid movie, especially for like a doll type movie. If anyone says I like doll movies, I probably would recommend this one. So overall, my opinion has gone up drastically on this. I think it's a solid movie. I think it's a good movie, but I do think there are better doll movies out there. But this one was pretty solid. I completely forgot how solid this movie was. But with that really being said, this is part one of this two-part series. And I have watched one or two movies more, but I kept it at 8. Let me know if anyone saw any of these movies or what got you into horror. I know a lot of people start with the classics, but none of my family members are into horror. I'm the only one. So my introduction was whatever I found. And I wish I watched more of the classics, but we can't change the past. So this was my introduction. So without further ado, like this video if you want more things like this, and I'll see you soon with a brand new video in part 2 whenever I get through the rest of the 7 films.